Tonight on EKB Evening News at 6, a prosecutor reduces charges stemming from a baseball game attack. Good evening, I'm Gary Sloan. Cindy Mae Johnson is off tonight. The high-profile case of a Pike Central High School baseball player charged with assault following an incident at a baseball game this week took a turn today when the charges were reduced. EKB News reporter Shelby Steele brings us the details.
Under Kentucky law, second-degree assault requires the victim to sustain a serious physical injury. With that in mind, Pike County Attorney Howard Keith Hall has asked the court to reduce a charge filed this week against Pike Central baseball player Bradley Elkins from second-degree assault to fourth-degree assault because he says the victim did not sustain a serious physical injury. Elkins was initially charged with second-degree assault after allegedly attacking an underage opposing player during a baseball game against Lawrence County High School. Under case law, a physical injury is considered serious when it causes serious or permanent disfigurement, serious impairment of health, or impairment of any body organ or limb, or creates a reasonable risk of death. Another difference between the two charges is that second-degree assault is a felony carrying a potential prison sentence of 5 to 10 years. Fourth-degree assault is a misdemeanor. Hall says that even though the charges have been reduced, the allegations are still serious.
Assault fourth, even though it is not called serious, it carries up to 1 year in jail. So if you're an 18-year-old facing a year in jail, that's still, we might not call that a serious injury. But if you're facing a particular penalty in misdemeanor court, it's still serious.
Pike County Sheriff Rodney Scott says there are no gray areas when you're an adult.
Kids need to know that once they turn 18, even if it's a teammate or someone they're playing against, once they turn 18, then they're an adult and they'll be tried as an adult.
Hall adds that every case needs to be fair.
So we want to make sure that we're tough but fair. And I don't think it would be fair to call this a serious physical injury under this definition at this time. So what we're asking the court to do is put it on the misdemeanor docket and let us handle it in the county attorney's office in district court.
Hall states that any time someone is hauled off in an ambulance, they treat it as something serious until proven otherwise. For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Shelby Steele.
Coming up later in sports, Jamie Johnson will have details on the impact the incident is having on the teams. Pikeville Medical Center today announced a large monetary donation to Shaping Our Appalachian Region and its initiative to improve the economy and quality of life in eastern Kentucky. PMC has agreed to donate $300,000 to SOAR in order to keep patients close to home for care and help SOAR in its health care initiatives and overall plan of action. Governor Steve Beshear and Congressman Hal Rogers established SOAR in 2013 to strengthen health care, expand job creation, and promote innovation, as well as spearhead other regional initiatives. SOAR collaborates with organizations, institutions, businesses, and citizens in the efforts. As a presenting partner with SOAR, PMC will participate in the Corporate Partnership Roundtable, which meets quarterly and advises SOAR Executive Committee. PMC will also take part in Action Committee addressing community health wellness. Pikeville Medical Center President and CEO Walter E. May says SOAR is imperative to the region with the continuing downturn in the coal industry.
Pikeville Medical Center understands that the success of our facility is linked to the success of Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky is going through some very difficult economic times right now with the loss of the coal industry. And we realize that without a successful economy in Eastern Kentucky, the hospital cannot be successful. So we're more than glad to make this donation to SOAR because we believe that SOAR might be the best hope that Eastern Kentucky has got for a sound economy.
Over the past several years, PMC has added every major medical specialty, joined the Mayo Clinic Care Network, opened an 11-story clinic on its main campus, and established clinics throughout the region to make quality health care more accessible. Well, last night, the Floyd County Chamber of Commerce held its annual awards banquet where leaders from many walks of life were recognized. EKB News reporter Courtney Lovren was there and brings us all the details.
At an evening full of laughs, music, food, and awards, several local leaders were honored for their contributions to the area. The Floyd County Chamber of Commerce held its annual awards banquet and officer installation at the Wilkinson-Stumbo Convention Center at the Jenny Wiley State Resort Park. Wayland Mayor Jerry Foltz commented on how the evening unfolded.
Absolutely marvelous. It's just been a wonderful evening with friends and got to make some new acquaintances and do a little networking, and I think that's always helpful down the road. It's helpful.
Foltz walked away with the Floyd Countyan of the Year award and received a standing ovation for all that he has done for his community. Along with Foltz, the Floyd County Emergency and Rescue Squad was given the Chamber's Special Thank You Award. One squad member mentioned what the award meant to her.
For the squad to receive the special thank you from the Chamber, it was an honor, but it's also a privilege because we do enjoy what we do. We think of everyone in the county as our friends. You know, most of us live here in Floyd County, but everyone is our friends and our families and our neighbors, and that's how we perceive everybody, and we take care of everyone like they're our friends and family and neighbors.
After House Speaker Greg Stumbo addressed the crowd, a special tribute was also given in memory of Billie Jean Osborne, who is well known for her involvement with area music. Osborne's niece had some words of advice for Stumbo and other influential figures on behalf of her aunt as she walked up to receive the award in place of Billie Jean.
You're talking about education. Humanities is the first thing that's cut in education. And these hills are not going to sing this music much longer if we don't get music back in our public school systems.
Among the winners yesterday evening, East Kentucky Broadcasting was also awarded with the Community Service Award. Reporting for EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Courtney Levern.
A Floyd County woman wanted for charges related to a mine theft found herself facing new charges when she allegedly had drugs in her possession when arrested. Police had been searching for 26-year-old Tiffany L. Howe since an incident in January when she and another person allegedly cut through 3 gates in order to steal several $1,000s worth of mining equipment. Howe was wanted for theft, criminal mischief, and trespassing for that incident, but was not arrested until a traffic stop on Monday. At the time of the arrest, she produced a plastic bag containing 36 pills. She reportedly told the arresting officer she had bought the pills because they were the only way she could eat because she is 7.5 months pregnant. In addition to the original complaint, she is now charged with drug possession and prescription in an improper container. A Pikeville man who accused of pretending to be a police officer in order to rob a Julius Avenue residence during Hillbilly Days has been indicted by a grand jury. 45-year-old Robert Sykes is accused of posing as a police officer to gain entry to the home, then asking the occupants for identification. When handed a wallet containing the victim's driver's license, Sykes allegedly took $900 from the wallet and fled. The grand jury reviewed the case and has charged him with impersonating a peace officer, second-degree robbery, and second-degree persistent felony offender. Well, coming up, Shannon Deskins will share the incredible story of a Pikeville man who had the ears of some of the nation's foremost authorities on drug control enforcement. And we'll take a journey down the Big Sandy River. We'll be back in 2 minutes. The East Kentucky Concentrated Employment Program has been awarded a $7.5 million grant to retrain workers displaced by the struggling coal industry. The grant is geared not only toward laid-off miners, but also toward others who have lost non-mining jobs due to the decline in the coal industry. This would include retail, heavy equipment sales and service, manufacturing, and others. The grant will allow 685 workers to be retrained high-wage, high-growth jobs in fields such as information technology. The money will be used for training in basic skills or job skills or to complete certification or licensing requirements. With prom this weekend, students at Pikeville High School got a lesson today on the dangers of drinking and driving. Officials from Pikeville Police and Fire Departments were at the school to show students just how much effect drinking has on driving. The city allowed the students to use specialized goggles that mimic different levels of intoxication, then had the students try to walk a straight line or drive a golf cart.
It's important because in the year 2012, there were 10,000 DUI fatalities nationwide. We want to get that number down, so we're promoting DUI awareness. Kids are having a lot of fun, so we hope to have a good prom tomorrow.
While the results often provoked laughter, officials hope they also drove home a very serious message. Well, Pikeville's Chad Webb recently sat down with Congressman Hal Rogers, National Drug Czar Michael Botticelli, and other leaders to share his ideas for what works and what doesn't in the battle against prescription drug abuse. It was a scene that probably would have seemed far-fetched to Webb just 9 years ago. EKB News reporter Shannon Deskins found out why when she sat down with Webb and learned about his personal journey.
Earlier this week, Congressman Hal Rogers, along with White House drug czar Michael Botticelli, attended a roundtable discussion at the EKU Manchester campus, focusing on prescription pill abuse. The roundtable also featured educators, doctors, and former addicts, people on the front lines of the fight. Pikeville tattoo artist Chad Webb was invited and told his story in Manchester.
Started getting high when I was 14. From there, I started drinking marijuana and alcohol. 15 years later, I ended up in prison. I turned 30 in prison. I spent 17 months locked up, counting treatment. I've been sober since March 6, 2006, 3,352 days today.
Webb said the group wanted to hear his story of recovery from addiction because so many people fail to remain sober after becoming addicted to drugs.
The reason they had me there was to find out what worked for me. You know, what made me different, because the national average is 1 out of 11 people complete treatment and remain sober. I think it's less than that. I know a handful of people that are legitimately sober, and for me, you know, it's staying involved has helped me a lot. Just staying active in the recovery community, it keeps me fresh and keeps my mind, you know, where it needs to be.
But one thing Chad Webb said he believes in is strict punishment for drug-related crimes, and he credits his own incarceration for his sobriety.
I'm a firm believer, without consequences for your actions, you'll never change. If I would have not have went to jail and laid on concrete and detoxed and almost died, me being the selfish drug addict I was, I wouldn't have, you know, if I would have just been sent straight to rehab and went to like a little camp for a few weeks or something, that wouldn't have got me off drugs. That's the whole purpose behind Operation Unite and behind Congressman Rogers and the White House drug czar, you know, them coming here is to find out, you know, what all this stuff, how it all works together.
Everyone walked away from the roundtable discussion this week optimistic that the information shared that day will help continue the fight against prescription pill abuse that has ravaged our region. For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Shannon Deskins.
The Tug Valley Roadrunners are tackling cancer the best way they know how, with a race. The No Cancer Relay for Life 5K will take place in Williamson tomorrow morning, with proceeds going to support Relay for Life. But even if you don't feel quite up to running a 5K, organizers have another way to get involved and support the cause.
In the past, we just did the 5Ks and saw a lot more people come up to that race, but we want to add the 1 mile walk, just to encourage those, you know, not only us runners, but more people for the walk.
The event takes place tomorrow morning in West Williamson, near the college and National Guard Armory. Registration will be open from 7:30 to 8:45, with the race beginning at 9. Well, coming up, Jamie Johnson will take us on a trip around the high school diamonds. But first, EKB Chief Meteorologist Lathan Hopkins will tell us what the weekend and next week ahead have in store weather-wise. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, it has been absolutely glorious week. Will the weekend be the same?
All the way since last weekend. We have to go back last Saturday, Sunday, all throughout the week. Not a bad week weather-wise, and I think that trend will continue at least through this upcoming weekend. Doppler radar showing again a scattering of showers across parts of eastern Kentucky. You'll see most of those to our south or to our west. We do have 2 little showers, one near Whitesburg there in Letcher County right along 119. And another here near Phelps and Majestic. So these are really starting to fall apart, it looks like, here over the last 15-20 minutes. But again, we could see a quick pop-up shower before this evening is out. Once the sun sets, things will begin to calm down and the rain will come to an end. And we get to do this all over again Saturday into Sunday. The big story all week, of course, temperatures. Not a big shock there, and we are at 86 degrees right now in Pikeville, Prestonsburg, 84 in Inez, 88 in Paintsville. Williamson, take a look at that, 90 degrees. First time that I've seen that on there this year, as a matter of fact. Yesterday, over at the National Weather Service office in Charleston, they hit 90 degrees for the first time this season. So not a surprise that we're starting to see a few of those 90-degree readings, and I think we could see that here locally this weekend, as a matter of fact. The almanac for today, we went down with a high of 87 degrees, 61 the low. Near the record, we missed it by 1 degree of 88 set back in 1993. We have so far this month picked up 1/100th of an inch of rain, so we were behind average for the month of May, but of course we're still well above average for the year by about 6 inches or so as far as rainfall is concerned. Now at 14 hours, sunrise and sunset 14 hours apart tomorrow. Overnight lows tonight back down into the 60s for most of the area, of course a few upper 50s in those valley locations, and tomorrow, yes, we are back in the 80s yet again, maybe some of us flirting with 90 degrees, as I mentioned. Several things we're watching here on the satellite and radar composite. The first, notice a couple of showers making their way through western Kentucky. This is expected to fall apart as it continues to move to the east. A pretty major severe weather outbreak expected, especially tomorrow in parts of the Midwest from Oklahoma City down toward Dallas. That'll be a big story here over the next couple of days. And we've talked about this, what could be a subtropical or a tropical storm that could develop all week long. Well, it has. Subtropical storm Anna, and this is expected. This could have played an impact on our weather here locally, but it looks like now it's going to go more to the north and to the west and then curve to the northeast by Monday, approaching Virginia Beach. Right now the wind's 45 miles per hour. Looks like it could make landfall very close to Myrtle Beach late Sunday evening. So of course those folks will have that to deal with over the next couple of days. All right, let's take a look at that pollen count. Sponsored by Faith Pharmacy, Adams Plaza in Pikeville. No surprise, high category throughout the next 3 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 10.4, 10.5, and 10.8. 5-day forecast, or how about a 7-day forecast? Forget 5 days. 30% chance of rain Saturday, Sunday. Increase that to a 40% on Monday. Temperatures each and every day in the mid and upper 80s, and then back into the 70s we go Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. So cooler air definitely moving in. And don't forget, you can always get the latest forecast in tomorrow's edition of the Appalachian News Express.
All right, good deal. Thanks, Latham. Tonight, EKB's residential outdoor expert, Ronnie Hilton, begins a regular feature on the many opportunities for outdoor adventure our region offers. In this first installment, he takes us on a canoe trip down the Leviza Fork from Fish Trap to Pikeville.
For hundreds of years, the Leviza Fork of the Big Sandy River served as a main transportation route for Pike County. Native Americans and early settlers used the river to hunt, fish, and transport goods. This week, we took a float trip from the Fish Trap Dam Spillway to Pikeville along the river. Traveling in the way of our ancestors offers the floater a unique experience and a different view of Pike County. Although our canoe was made of high-tech plastic versus birch bark or a hauled-out log, you could still capture a glimpse of what it might have been like to travel the river 100 years ago. Covering 8.5 miles, the trip consists of floating through multiple communities in Pike County as well as traveling through some beautiful wooded areas. The river offers excellent fishing opportunities for largemouth and smallmouth bass, bluegill, and catfish. Beginning below the spillway at Fish Trap Lake State Park, the journey begins by floating through a beautiful wooded stretch offering a great opportunity to view wildlife. There have even been a couple bald eagles spotted here recently along this stretch. The river meanders its way out of the park and flows adjacent to Rocky Road in the Miller community. This stretch is dotted with riffles and shoals that offer the floater a little excitement along the way. Approximately 3 miles into the trip, the Russell Fork meets with the Leviza Fork under the Miller Bridge. From this point on, the river almost triples in size, offering some good-sized riffles and shoals to run through. For the next 5 miles, the river flows through the communities of Millard, Greasy Creek, and Shelbyana before reaching the Pikeville city limits. The river has numerous riffles and shoals that flow into longer, deeper pools that is perfect for beginning floaters. This float can be accomplished in as little as 4 hours, but could easily take all day if one wanted to take their time and enjoy the sights or fish along the way. Always be sure to wear an approved personal flotation device whenever you're on the river, no matter how calm or shallow the water may be. The takeout point for this float exists at the Jubilee Christian Assembly Church in Pikeville. If you have a canoe, kayak, raft, or john boat and want to experience a different view of this section of Pike County, give the Fish Trap Spillway to Pikeville Float a try. You won't be disappointed. For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Ronnie Hilton.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for the next installment. We'll be back with sports in 2 minutes. Well, we talked earlier in a newscast about the Brad Elkins situation. I understand some sanctions handed down?
Sanctions by the KHSAA, and now they're both teams trying to get past this moment and move on to district play and hopefully even region play later on this month. Sanctions were handed down today from the KHSAA against Pike Central and Lawrence County baseball programs for their roles in the altercation between the teams that caused their Tuesday night game to be terminated and resulted in Pike Central shortstop Brad Elkins being arrested. Per the KHSAA investigation into the matter, Elkins will serve a possible 8-game suspension through district tournament. Elkins can rejoin the team if the Hawks advance to the 15th Region Baseball Tournament at the end of this month. Pike Central and Lawrence County must forfeit games that they have scheduled for this Saturday, forcing them to take 1 loss each. Both teams are on probation for the remainder of the season, and Pike Central's baseball program was fined $200. The KHSAA says it will not have any further comment on this matter. Action on the diamond last night. The Shelby Valley Wildcats haven't defeated Belfry in baseball since George W. Bush was in the White House. That's 2005 if you're scoring at home or even if you're alone. With only 2 wins on the season, could the Wildcats change their fortune? Bottom of the 4th, Valley up 1. Ty Riddle with the hit to third and the bobble. Riddle will be safe at first. Next, Nick Wallace will lay down the bunt, and Belfry runs a Chinese fire drill. Yeah, complete chaos, runners at first and second. And since it worked so well, Jordan Hampton follows with a bunt of his own, and now ducks are on the pond. Shelby Valley threatening here with bases loaded. Austin Ellswick, he's got the duck collar. He'll drill this one to left center, clearing the bases, and Shelby Valley rose to victory over Belfry for the first time in 10 years on the baseball diamond. 11-2 the final score. Other scores: Betsy Lane defeated Jenkins 16-1. Eastridge held off Grundy 6-4. Hazard knocked off Paintsville 6-4, while Lawrence County shut out Allen Central on the road last night 7-0, and Pike Central pounded Phelps 15-2. To the big leagues, Reds first baseman Joey Votto has been suspended 1 game today and fined an undisclosed amount of money for making contact with an umpire after getting tossed for throwing his helmet in a game on Wednesday against the Pirates. Votto will sit out tonight's game in Chicago against the White Sox. The Reds were searching for a 3-game series sweep of the Pirates last night. Pittsburgh had lost a season-high 5 straight games coming into the game and searching for some offense. We'll pick this up bottom of 5. Reds down 2-1. Rookie starter Anthony DeSclafani trying to hold the fort. And the Bull, Pedro Alvarez, smacks this one deep and off the wall, scoring Andrew McCutcheon. Pirates up 3-1. After the Reds picked up a run in the 6th, manager Brian Price turned to reliever Kevin Gregg in the 7th. Why? Chris Stewart delivers a 2-out, 2-run single. Gregg allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 2, and 2/3 of work for the Reds. If you call it work, Reds fell 7-2, and Gregg has been pitiful in a Reds uniform this year. Reds are in Chicago tonight facing the White Sox for the first time on the South Side since 2001. The Reds struggled during interleague play, going only 6-14 last year. Jason Marquis will go for Cincinnati tonight. Game time is 8:10, airtime 7:40 on Hit City USA 98.1, 104.3 FM. And the Reds did hire Barry Larkin today, Hall of Famer, former shortstop, as a roving instructor. So we'll see if that works out for him.
Okay. Well, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Lathan, Sunday is Mother's Day. What's the forecast looking like?
Forecast is holding true of what we've had today, well, yesterday, well, Wednesday, too. You get the point. Every day so far this week will hold true all the way through the weekend. A 30% chance of those showers and storms and temperatures in the upper 80s.
Okay, thank you. And Jamie, you like Westerns?
You're going to like them tonight, and we're going to have plenty of gathering in the OK Corral tonight. Classic Westerns on EKB TV this evening.
Okay, thanks. That will do it for tonight's EKB Evening News. Remember, you can get more local news anytime by listening to the radio stations of East Kentucky Broadcasting. You can also follow EKB News and EKB TV on Facebook and Twitter. Good night, and thanks for watching.